As expected, Brice Oligui Nguema has won the presidential election in the Central African country of Gabon. Expected because he's the leader of the military junta, which overthrew President Ali Bongo 2 years ago, ending 5 years of rule by or rather 5 decades of rule by the deeply unpopular Bongo family. So how convincing was his victory? I asked the BBC's Paul Ngier in the Gabonese capital, Libreville.
It was a convincing victory for Ngema and for his supporters because he said that he's really the main man for the job. After ousting former President Ali Bongo from power in 2023, he presented himself as the change the country needs, and that's the idea, that's the personality that the people of Gabon fell in love with, as I would say. But on the other side of the aisle, there are those who say that he's really not ideal because first, he's a man from the military and he had promised to hand over power to civilians, but that he didn't keep to his words. He later on said he is now a civilian because one of the preconditions for members of the military to run in elections is that they will have to renounce their military titles in order to take part. So that's what he did. He now considers himself a civilian.
And are people pleased that he's been elected president?
Yeah, some people we've seen are really pleased. They've been celebrating the victory, most especially because he is the man who took the country off the Bongo dynasty, as they call it here. So they kind of see him as that liberator. So he has a very good, he's like a demigod in this area. People really look up to him. But there are also those who believe that because he was part of the previous system, nothing is really going to change, and that he's seemingly going to continue the practices of the previous regimes.
Were the elections free and fair? Were there international observers there?
There were international observers, and by and large, what they said is the process was quite fair, was quite free, and that there were little instances of irregularities as compared to previous polls. Those words were also echoed by the transitional leader Brice Oligui Nguema when he voted yesterday, and he said that the presence of the international observers signaled the transparency of the polls because he said it did not exist in the past. So basically, that's what they are saying. But there were also a few complaints of some organizational lapses. But then most people here say that the process was peaceful and transparent.
I mean, Gabon is oil rich, and it is generally agreed that over the years, the Bongo family siphoned off a lot of that wealth. Is Brice Oligui Nguema going to make the people of Gabon wealthy?
He has promised to tackle, the poverty that's in the country, to provide jobs for young people and also face the corruption head on. Remember, he criticized the previous regime of practicing corruption, and he's saying that he's going to change that and become a very good person to put the country in the good books. But he himself has been criticized for or accused of corrupt practices in the past as well. So it really remains to be seen what more he's going to do.
I noticed that President Macron of France, the former colonial ruler, has sent his congratulations to Mr. Nguema. Is that significant?
Well, that would be significant because, when Brice Oligui Nguema came into office, he sought to really draw closer to France because the previous regime was moving a little bit away and heading towards the Commonwealth. So Brice Clotaire Oligui Nguema has seemed to warm up those relations that were frosty with France. And so it's no surprise that Emmanuel Macron would be congratulating him. But also other presidents, especially in Africa, have sent congratulatory messages. Umaru Sissoco Embalo of Guinea-Bissau has sent his congratulatory messages, and Evariste Ndayishimiye of Burundi has done likewise.
That was the BBC's Paul Ngier speaking from Gabon.